just keep getting rid of it. Because they don't want to get the team fight split up for themselves. They want to be the ones splitting it.
I mean, it's something you had highlighted earlier, Dave, is a very interesting dynamic. Maybe, you know, I don't.
Is Twig a raw main? I mean, I think every mid laner ever is a raw main right now. He's like literally the best mid in the game right now. He's so insane. It's stupid.
Maybe not exactly the one that comes immediately to mind.
Yeah, you know, so early on in that game,
don't know, Sarah. Maybe they were, but I definitely didn't catch it. I'm sorry. Maybe somebody in chat knows.
As the game went on, wasn't fully consistent. I think it still brings the weight. I think it's still something you consider putting Sam back on later on in this set if you need. Maybe start to look elsewhere. I like the way, though, that Ghost is starting.
They don't ban Guan Yu. I don't know.
That I wanted to touch on
oh, they got rid of the Amir. Okay, so I was right about half of it. I said that they were going to get rid of, like, Amir and Guan or like, Amir Scylla or Scylla Guan.
Let's melt down this Amir as quickly as possible. Those walls were starting to connect for Neil in that game. He was throwing up
why my brain so big?
Providing CC, he was providing lockdown. He would die for it, but then the rest of his
why my brain so big, chat?
Smooth.
I don't at all disagree with the way Ghost
smooth.
are changing things here. Ban out
so
the
smooth and big.
Neil is incredible at that. Like, ban out the Ymir as well, because 078 isn't all that wild. It's those intangibles, those assists that don't go up onto the scoreboard, where Neil really made an impact, I think, in game 1.
Well, the bans Ra, Ratatosker, and Set, not too much change in there for the Knights. Ghost, as you had highlighted, the Ymir joins that Yamoja and the Guan Yu. I wrote down their top 5, at least that we've seen this tournament. They have the most games, so luckily we can actually rely on these numbers. The Guan Yu, the Sobek, the Afro, the Kamazots, and the Scylla.
I literally just finished telling you guys how they were probably going to ban the front line because the front line was the main issue. Ghost might look to take Scylla, though. If they take Scylla... Dude, what if Paul goes for... Yeah, there's Kukulin. Man, they love prioritizing Fino K's pick. How do you feel about them always prioritizing Fino's picks? I feel like that's kind of tough for solo lane to always have like your pick one of the earlier ones.
Expand the god pool.
And Heim's gonna be tough into Cupid too. I don't know. I don't know, man. I mean, yeah, I was about to say they're just gonna take Scylla again. I want to see a Cerberus for PK. Oh, okay. I mean, it's about time Sobek got more gameplay.
Right? There's almost, I can think of literally no reason not to go back to this, David. It has been the perfect pick for him. This Sobek, along with this Cupid, has had some pretty big, successful games as well.
Yeah, there's the Poseidon.
You kind of see the energy, I think, and we kind of made fun of him a little bit earlier. We were looking at it. Paul looks the same.
All right, my 2 cents, if Ghost loses this game, they're going to ban Scylla or take it. Like, they're going to prioritize pick it.
I think that's something the Knights have
but I think they really think that they can counter the Scylla with the Poseidon.
The Krakens, I mean, so far I would say 50-50.
But I feel like Poseidon gets ate up by Cupid Sobek. Am I crazy for that?
But it's a solid pick.
Yeah, aggro rolling over, I imagine, over in the green room, thinking back to Fino K.
I just, looking at these top 3, I really do feel like PK's got the draft edge right now. Like,
yeah, they have a solid draft.
I feel like it's so solid. And yeah, I'm kind of surprised there's no Persephone. Probably because Persephone isn't that great for early game. These teams are just like looking to fight early game. I don't know. I just feel like it's so hard for the carries to deal with Sobek. Like, Neil's just gonna be splitting up the team fights again.
Once upon a time, Dave,
I don't know, dude. Like, I think Ghost thinks that they can deal with this Scylla with the cripples, and like maybe they can. But I definitely like PK's draft a lot more right now. I definitely like their draft a lot more.
Scylla isn't allowed to free cast inside these fights. I'm a monster immediately followed by Sentinel. You have to be worried about Gravity Surge. I think it could be something interesting here, especially considering, take a peek, PK putting a lot of respect on the Sam.
If you guys are wondering, I'm literally just talking to Wolfie, Wolfie 2032 in DMs right now. I'm in like a little DM group chat with some pals. Please, Sam, don't throw.
The targets that are coming through. It was game 1, the same 4 in the final.
I mean, they know it's Kukulin solo. Yeah, there's Cerberus. I was waiting for the Cerberus pick. I'm kind of surprised that PK didn't ban it, but I also don't blame them. They're taking heavy priority banning out the jungle. They're banning Sam so hard. Why not just go wheelies to counter Scylla, because she won't do anything else, and she probably won't even really counter Scylla.
You're giving Mike make a pick where you can build.
Wheelie should just get her
first
booty
item. He's
cheeks
gonna
ate
jump
by
on you
Cupid
and he's
Scylla,
gonna
in my
fight, he's
opinion,
gonna
and
make you pay
Sobek.
for
Like,
it.
there's so much
Cerberus,
interrupt
obviously,
for
you know,
Wheelish. She's not a counter to
different
Scylla.
mindset
Not
there,
a pro
but
level play.
same
In a
mindset,
rank
different way of
game,
going about it.
yeah,
With
sure. Take
Cerberus,
a
as the
Wheelish
game
into
goes
Scylla.
on, we've seen Mike
Competitive play though,
like to
you're
do some of these
you're not
damaging
having a good
items.
time
We
at
see
pro
Spirit of the
play most of the
Magus
time with the
later on
Wheelish.
sometimes in the build here on this Cerberus.
Love this.
Specifically in the
I hope
hands
that
of,
this
like,
is
the
an
ability to
Achilles
jump
pick. I would
into the
love that
backline.
Achilles
Maybe
pick.
that's some of the answer here
So
against this
aggressive
Scylla.
and make it
Cerberus can
even
make his
more of a
way in.
nightmare for
Mike
Heimdallr and
has enough
Poseidon.
of a lead, has enough of that
Yeah,
damage built up.
love this
He
Achilles
can
pick
melt through Paul, I
for
say
the Heim
potentially,
Poseidon.
because hasn't happened
And
often
it's also
against
going to
Paul on Scylla.
indirectly
Maybe
threaten
that's an answer
Cerberus.
here for Ghost.
Look, man, Scary D's been way too smiley through these picks and bans.
I'm
for me to start
I'm a
thinking
fan of this.
Achilles isn't gonna
I'm
have
a fan
good
of this
performance.
draft right
Guy is
now. I'm not gonna
comfortable
lie.
and
Like,
in his element. A lot of
they
styles
have
there. Again, maybe
great
not as emotive as
burn
the rest of the team. A
and
lot of
burst
zoned-in players.
for
But the
Fatal Strike
Tsukiyomi
executes.
locked in, finalizing the Knights draft. Potentially a Susano over there in the
I mean, in the
jungle. I
laning
think
phase,
Hamza
I expect a
more when I
Cullen
think
to have the
Susano
advantage,
than I think Sam
but
for soccer, but for
I,
Ghost,
I definitely
Mifflin,
think
what
Achilles
does
is
this
gonna
pick
not
do and
have
how well
as
can
great
he
of a
deal with
time in
the
the laning
Knights?
phase. I think
He's
a
got a
Cullen's
lot
way
of
more
chase
aggressive
down
for the
potential.
solo laning
The
phase,
third
but
ability from
I feel
Susano
like the
should
team
be able to
fights,
keep up with
I
Scylla
would probably
relatively
rather
easily.
have the
A lot of
Achilles,
times Scylla
given
uses
the
the Hyma
comps.
monster to
Given
create
the
space.
comps between
The
these two
Typhoon
teams.
ultimate can be able to
I
rip
like
through
the
and chase down just about
Achilles
anything
Fatal
that
Strike
Paul tries
as
to use
more
to
of like an
escape out of
execution
there.
finish
But
off.
I'm worried now about this
And
Ghost
he's got
draft.
CC
We know
immunity
they
to get
look
away
competitive.
from
They will abuse the
Poseidon's
early
Kraken
game and
really
end the match
easily.
before PK is allowed to get to
Like,
their
I don't
best
think
phase
Cullen has
30
that same
minutes in.
benefit. Like, his
PK,
ult
when
won't
you're playing
get him
against
out
them,
of
it
like
feels like
Scylla
you're caught in
damage for the most
quicksand.
part,
The
but
longer the
Achilles
match
can at
goes,
least maybe
the
try to
more
like
you
narrowly
struggle,
avoid it.
the further down they're able
It's
to
gonna come
drag
down to
you.
a battle of the
I
front
think
lines again,
Ghost
though.
might end
No
this
doubt in my
quickly.
mind.
This
These are
draft might
definitely
be
two
a little
teams
bit
just
slower
fighting
than
the
we
front
saw in
lines.
game one.
I'll be right back. I gotta use the
Well,
bathroom
that's
again real quick.
maybe ideal for Ghost, right? Although,
Right.
from what we've
Gucci.
seen from Knights, they kind of like your 57-minute games, right? They like them to go a little longer because of the way they can change the pace of it. And we've done a lot of talking. Paul is someone always worth mentioning because of what we've seen on the Scylla. Cuvo had a really solid game on the Tsukiyomi last time around, but it's actually Neil. You had mentioned his Ymir here on the Sobek. It fits really well. It's one of their top picks so far in this week and in this championship. But alongside that, you get Scary D on this Achilles. It feels like those two as a front line are really going to be a driving factor for the Knights here.
Absolutely. This Sobek is going to be so important in dislodging this Poseidon out of the back line. Somewhat immobile, has to work around those whirlpools to prevent a lot of that engage. And Neil will find those plucks, right? Neil is the guy, if there is a small sliver of an avenue that leads him to Poseidon, leads him to Pandacat on this Heimdall, he'll find it. So I think this is a great pick over there for Neil, especially a guy who has the mindset of, well, I'll set up for the rest of my team. I might die for it. He is lurking in the waters to get him out of that, by the way. But Neil will have the ability to set up these fights.
Well, you never want to go up 2-0 against the Knights. Ghosts don't have to worry about that anymore. That passive is not going to get active. Right now, they have to worry about the Knights going up 2-0 over them. Game number 2 starting right now. Let's go back over to Finch and Aggro.
From the desk there, guys. Another great job from you is now Ghost. Just as Gore said, but their backs against the
All right,
wall,
chat.
not at all how I
Gotta run that
expected
Zuko
this
skin or 2
Yet
LPK.
Zuko bringing the heat. Let me be clear,
We'll see.
the heat is
We will
Paul
definitely
Scylla.
see, dude.
He gets this yet
I don't
again.
know. I don't like Susano
Some way.
into
80% win
Scylla
rate, by the way,
Sobek.
when he was up in
Yeah, that
Pittsburgh.
sounds
Is
about
that just
right.
me,
It has been
or-
dominant so far this weekend, and we talked about it a little bit
It's
yesterday.
almost
but
like Jing
I
Chen.
think a large reason
Like, if you
why
interrupt his
Scylla is
dashes
so
and stuff like that, he can
successful,
still
the
do
main
it.
plan is not exactly in the
He can still
strongest spot
dash, and
it's ever
like,
been in, particularly
it don't
for
really
that
matter.
man. But with Scylla having percent pen built in on the crush, when you build that double flat pen, you're not feeling the lack of power, the lack of utility.
The pick that I have an
having
issue
some
with
other
is the
items in that
Poseidon.
slot that other mages are
They
building
literally only
for.
picked Poseidon
You
to
still
Kraken
one-shot
off of
people
Scylla
really,
ult.
really well, and I think that has really caught people off guard this
I don't
weekend,
really
how
like
much
that.
damage Still is able to do with this double flat pen build throughout all stages of the game.
It's been really oppressive, hasn't it? Especially in these late game fights. Sam for soccer got in there on Paul in that last game.
I just don't really know what Susano does here, honestly.
And it wasn't enough, man. Beads, Aegis,
I actually
plus
feel like the Susano's gonna have such a hard time. Like, he's got 3 different cripples to worry about.
Is this Susano the pick? I mean, you heard Miff talking about the dive potential, the chase potential. Is that enough for them to keep up with Paul?
I think it is, and this is the type of pick that I
Like,
wanted to see Ghost go
that's
for.
so annoying.
Their last composition was really, really early game focused, so even though they made a lot of mistakes, even though that game is won by PK.
Not for the Zuko
I think
skin,
that
yeah. Well, they
Ghost
might not
kinda
be able to
threw
use that
that one,
skin.
if we're calling a
Actually,
spade a
he
spade.
might be on it. I
Not
can't
taking
actually
credit
see,
away from the
but
Pittsburgh Knights, of course.
I don't know.
took advantage
They
of
might not be
mistakes
allowed
better
to
than
use the
anybody in the
avatar
late game.
skins if they alter the
This
gods
Ghost
too much
gaming
because
team
Hi-Rez
was
doesn't like when the
ill-equipped
gods are
to
when the
go as late as
god
they did
models are
early
alter
that
too
draft.
much
They
from
weren't
skins
planning on
for
playing
Pro League
that
play.
long. With this draft,
Four-man
they are much
rotation for
more
Oracles?
well
What the
equipped
hell am
and
I
ready to go
watching?
when it comes to going later on in the game.
What?
Should have a decent shot. shot. Panda Cat and Mike were the big heroes for them in that game 1. Fine, okay, with his great moments there as well. The real hope I gotta think is that as Mike gets plugged in, that Twig can play better.
Oh, look at those body blocks though. Zatman's a genius.
Panda Cat as well. So now Mike in the
I think that's first blood.
See ya.
That's definitely first blood.
Finishes it himself. PK.
Dude.
First blood.
Sobek is so good. Why would you pick Cerberus?
Neil
Neil.
really hated minion number 5 in that wave, and he'll take care of him. But good attempt either way. If you're feeling it, you might as well go for it.
Me and the boys all rotating for 2-minute oracles, right? Like, what was that, man? Lapse of judgment, I think. Or you know what I bet it was? I bet you they were expecting a little bit of a fight. But you know what I just realized? Like, I didn't even think about it, but Cerberus into Sobek really is not that good. Sobek has so much interrupt for that. Cerberus does do a buttload of damage, though. I won't lie. Like, Cerberus can literally do 1k damage with 20 power. So, I guess I really can't say anything about the Cerb pick here, because he can definitely do some mean damage to Zap and Paul if they're not careful.
His fight isn't that strong, but as soon as you finish your first item after
Yeah, all sad though.
you feel pretty strong at that point. You have really, really good all-in potential. Your mobility is fantastic throughout all stages of the game. And I would love to see Ghost try and turn up the pressure onto Paul a little bit earlier than what we've seen from him.
Sam rotating the solo, blinks in, looking for the pull. That brings Scary D back.
Damn, dude, like
from Fine OK is there. A response gank in solo is what Ghost needed.
And if anyone knows what happens if you let Scary get to the late game with Achilles for free, it's Sam for soccer. We've been robbed of a lot of great moments from the crowd during this year, but Scary hovering the Achilles in a World Finals game, I think would have elicited a great response from a crowd full of Smite fans. This was his iconic pick last year. Now it's become Guan. He's really
how could you forget about your virtual tour, Blaze?
The same god until they start to take it away from you.
Mix CSP and Eastern. Don't even show up. Hey, if it makes you feel any better, I skipped my freshman orientation. I was at my freshman orientation at my university for like a solid 20 minutes and before I bounced. I was like, this is a waste of my time. I'm going to go do actual college kid things.
Is a really good way to
if they roll mid and solo enough, Ghost may have a chance. Yeah, but now Scary is going to be expecting the ganks. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy, dude, that's what I'm talking about. That was such a good punish.
Finds the first kill, but gives up on Neil.
Surprised that Sam doesn't get that one too. Neil able to escape pretty well, but maybe a little bit of lack of patience there from Sam on teleporting in. Either way, you get the more important one. You get the hunter dead.
That's what I'm talking about, dude. Don't you love watching Cerberus just do full HP bar with 20 power?
And who deserves the
Makes
I
sense.
just felt bad for Sam. Like, you can't be making those mistakes.
Understanding how much damage he can
What, Sam? Sam didn't make a mistake?
Yeah,
Or are you
was
talking
it
about?
Susano?
Oh, not committing to the Sobek?
No, he misplayed his cooldowns.
Yeah.
You just can't be doing that on the big stage. Like, that's a double kill.
Yeah, true. I didn't really think about it like that. They love this. Cerberus 20 power, by the way. A level behind.
Looking for these blue buff invades, and I think this is another for them to play.
This is why I hate Cerberus, man.
This sort of counter gank in duo to the secondary punch of invading the
why is Cerberus the way that he is? So stupid.
Last game, you were up 5,000, 6,000.
Cerberus does so much damage because Ajax doesn't understand what proper power balance means.
Scary behind with the first blood, or the second blood rather. Now you come back over, you start invading those blues.
But it's fine. The pros and ourselves, we're all used to watching this.
Fights early on in the game. Cullen fantastic at it. I think it makes a ton of sense.
Fine, okay, looking for pressure. Not willing to go for the full dive, even with Sam here.
Scary's not gonna have a tower this entire set.
On where Cubo was, but yeah, they'll take that tier 1 tower down.
Wow, it was pre-9 minutes last game, pre-6 minutes here in game number 2.
Cerberus is basically a mage for the first 20 minutes of a Smite game. He's literally a mage.
All this extra pressure.
Oh, buddy, that's bad for Fina. Oh, this could be big, though. Oh, never mind, he's so dead. He's gonna get it off. Oh, Paul's dead now, too.
And there's the Kraken on the pole, forcing his speed to
He's so dead.
It's not available. This is classic Ghost as they shut down the Knights.
Yeah, they're just trying to run at them.
Feed the beast that is Fine, okay, and let him try and run it for you. Great plays for PBM as well, and Scary D in the wrong part of town is going to have to use that fatal strike defensively.
This is much more like the Ghost Gaming pressure. And I was going to say earlier, we had to stop for more of Ghost pressure. That what they
See,
really
I don't
need
feel
is
like
Sam
banning
Twig
the
to
carries
step up a little
is
bit
how
defense.
these
How
teams should
about
be looking.
center
Like, I kind of wish... I understand PK banning Nemesis. I understand them banning Humbots. I honestly would have given up one of those bans for a Cerberus ban. No bullshit. I think that they thought they could probably handle the Cerberus because on paper, Sobek, Scylla, they look like solid, picks at deterring Cerberus's aggression. But I think the problem that PK are having right now, though, is that with solo lane being so, dominant for Fino, because Fino is just taking matchups that he's going to outclear lane on every single time. That's all he's doing is just taking winning lane matchups. And as long as Fino K is establishing pressure like that, and they know that Sam is also looking for early kills onto Scary to, further ensure that Fino K gets ahead, I think that that's where you need to, look at where the other problem could be, and that's just frontline in general. I think frontline is what's going to be the difference maker in these sets. I think Ghost had the right idea here, Game 2, banning out the Amir and Guan Yu. They completely neutered PK's frontline from Game 1, forcing them into a different strat for Game 2 here. But because they still get that Cerberus and the Kakolin, it's just so much pressure. It's really hard for any carry to deal with early on. And I'm not surprised that PK are just getting ran at right now inside of their jungle. Yeah, sorry, Cool Von. Trust me, I would have casted, but this year with COVID and everything going on, that just wasn't really a possibility. Hi-Rez wanted to do everything in-house. They didn't bring in any outside talent. And, oh my god, dude, he's just going to keep chasing. This could be a good punish, though. Fine OK definitely needs to die for this.
Ultimate, so now Fine OK stuck on the wrong side of the tier 2 tower. This is what we were talking about. The over-aggression could hurt.
Yeah, they needed that.
The kill, and Fine OK gives one away.
And Sam didn't get anything. Sam's probably dead now.
He's stuck on the wrong side of the tower.
Wind Siphon in the wrong spot. Typhoon, excellent.
At least he got one.
Gonna take down one. Here comes Paul.
So this is gonna be trouble now for Sam.
Yeah.
Paul gets the kill. And I want your opinion on it, man. That feels like shades of game 1.
It does. And
I don't know if that's worth, though, for Ghost.
It's fine getting this tower early. It's actually a detriment.
Right.
Because you make it so you have to go so far up in order to get this far.
I actually think that works against Ghost there. It's cool that Sam was able to pick one up, but that's a big commitment. Big commitment. Losing Fino there.
Then we've got a free rotation over to kill this Kakulin. So Scary does the right thing, keeps this wave.
I mean, it's hard. If Fino literally took the tower at 6 minutes, he doesn't really have any other option but to push up here.
For that tier 2 tower dive, I don't think PK can really afford to fight him. And to Fine's credit, he nearly killed them both.
Yes.
In that moment. But then Sam is priced into coming over, and if he's trapped between tier 2 and Phoenix, not really going to get out because PK is going to be able to out-rotate your squad.
I love how Fine is just not even taking damage. He's just not even taking damage to the blue buff. Zap AFK in the brain.
And that's giving Twig some room to get ahead.
And that's exactly what you want your Poseidon to be because he has that movement speed to get around the map really well.
Ooh.
Great fights.
Smart ult from Neil.
Has to use that lurking in the waters just because of the threat of that wind siphon.
Great work there from Twig and Sam for soccer working together. And that's what
they're going to pull.
In the middle of the map.
Yeah, they're already going for gold.
Gold
Neilmaw not having ult, which means Neilmaw can't escape. Oh my god, dude, that's what I'm talking about. Oh, dude, Kivo just choked so hard. Dude, this is what I'm talking about. Missed cooldowns are going to be the bane of both these teams.
A little bit unlucky there for Twig. We go for those every once in a while, and we can just keep
if Paul landed his one.
Just did. Fine OK, too aggressive.
Or if Kivo doesn't miss.
At this stage before. That was a concern, I think, coming into this tournament. Does he get a little bit too overexcited? Maybe a little bit on the right-hand side, comes in, looks like he might be.
Dude, that was just that was bad. That was bad for Kivo and Paul. You can't choke like that.
When you get one and you don't die, then you really feel that much better. A tough beads there from Fred. To boost beads on the world stage is not what you want to do. He used those way too late after Fine OK used that knock-up in his human form. Ends up dying because of it, because the Stygian Torment is an easy kill for him.
Great work there from Ghost. And for some reason, I can't believe we're only 11 minutes into this one. This has been great aggression coming out from the Chaos side team here in this one. And great work from all the teams, makes from all the players in the team rather.
I think this is a great response from Ghost. I think this is exactly what Ghost needed to do, because that game 1, I felt like, even though there were like some moments where Ghost were like, you know, clearly beating PK in the team fights, I feel like this game, Ghost has been a lot more dominant.
It looks like he's overcommitting again. A Scary D has to
Wow, dude, he's still going.
the pass to get away from all the pressure from Ghost Gaming. But with everybody here on this
It's really wish the camera guys pushed the angle instead of an overhead. Yeah, I don't know.
So I mean, speed buff's coming up, but I don't think that Ghost has that.
I'm not really
info.
thinking about that right
It's
now.
standard with Sam's speed buff, which is usually what you're checking on, that same timer, and without being able to think that, hey, my speed's coming up, maybe Fred's is as well, ends up not being worth your time walking that deep to the enemy jungle.
If it's not,
Ooh, decent damage on a Susano there. I want to see what happens when this Scylla starts chunking. Fine OK has done such a good job, like, preventing Kivo from having fun in the jungle, though. It's funny, though, because, like, I really do think both these teams are missing more cooldowns than what they normally would, probably because they're not on LAN. Like, isn't that crazy to think about? Like, I wonder how many cooldowns and how many relics are just, like, being missed or, like, misused because of the fact that they're not, like, actually on LAN servers. I'm telling you, it plays a lot worse than what it looks. It plays a lot worse than what it looks like to us, chat.
Remember, they swept Phase 2 playoffs. They didn't drop a game in that tournament. Their last loss was to this PK roster. So you know it's been a little bit since they've faced that level of adversity. They look to have bounced back really well. A 4,000 gold lead at 13 minutes is exactly where a team like Ghost wants to be. The adjustment that I wonder if Ghost can make, I wonder if Fine can take a page out of Scary's book and just let this wave push to his side of the map. It would require Scary to push an extra wave and to put it on your tower line, but if Fine's able to hold a wave...
I don't know that Fine OK cares about holding waves. He's just got so much early game pressure right now. He's got to take advantage of the early game pressure with Kakolin. Like, look, he even went for the Mystical Mail and a Stone of Gaia, so he wants PK to prioritize him early. Stone of Gaia is so good against PK's comp early on because it completely prevents the Sobek, I think, from looking for initiation on that front line.
Big targets being up, right? Pyro and Fury. That's how they really put the hurt on Knights and extend this lead out. But when that's down, they're not just giving PK.
It's so funny seeing how quiet this game has been from the duo lane compared to last game. It's like all solo focus right now.
Yeah.
Ghost has continued to extend their lead.
And if
Like,
Fine's going to be this aggressive, I think that you do have
literally taking no damage with Stone of Gaia.
Great ward coverage from Ghost.
That
Look
regen.
at all the red dots lining these back camps, making sure that Fred's only way in without Fine being able to see him is either very, very high up by Fire Giant or very low underneath the mid tier 2 and in behind Scary D's tier 2. But this is the points where I think that you can afford to start to let this wave push. But with Fury coming up in 45 seconds, Fine OK being there is going to be much more valuable than Scary being
Oh no,
there.
what? Most of this lead's basically on mid lane, isn't it? Because Paul died one time.
Zatman is in a world of trouble here in left. Late on those beads, but the Field of Love gets stunning on 2.
Yeah, Mike's not going to let him go.
But he blinks in. No chance for Zatman to get out of that one. Mike gets the kill, but a great chance there from Zatman.
Whoa.
And now the Kraken coming out. Twig is somehow stuck.
Whoo!
Hey, Paul finds it.
Is this week 1 of Season 7? That was week 1S from Captain Twig, and now Neil perfectly baits the jump. See you later, Mike. Fatal strike right on time.
What an answer back from PK. This is what they've done all week, but Fine OK finds another life to take. And in comes Panda Cat with all his damage. He had been farming up all game. Scary D goes down. Fine OK finds the route onto Neil. No escapes. And that's 4 for 2 in favor of Ghost.
Yeah, Ghost make that mistake again, but this time it doesn't seem quite as fatal.
No, man, this is just like literally
this should still be an
solo lane warrior.
But a massive
just running it
mistake
down.
From Twig. Yeah, Sam also messed up. He beads in lane on nothing as that rotation was coming. Ghost, even though they're looking better, still.
I mean, Fine OK got his lane heavily camped in a winning laning matchup. He's doing a great job at utilizing the advantages, though, that Ghost gave him. So it comes as no, like, this is exactly why Ghost is just, like, pretty much, they're kind of crutching on Fino right now. Like, as long as they're able to keep walking down Pittsburgh Knights, though, they're fine. But the moment that Zap and Scary actually get a chance to, like, participate in the team fight, I think that that's where it gets a little bit more concerning because right now I just don't think that Zap really has the build he needs to actually shut down Skakola. Now with the chin size finished off, once he gets Atalantis bow or Odie bow, it's going to be even more difficult, I think, for that Choo Choo to just stick to him. And there's no shell again. This is another double Thorns comp, so I think Ghosts are definitely just trying to prioritize harassing Zapman this game. Zap kind of popped off in the last game, and Cupid's probably the most punishable character on PK right now because at least with Suki, you can always look to get some damage off. But yeah, like even though this looks really good for the mid to early game, I think that Final K is doing a great job at utilizing the lead that his team gave him. I feel like if Ghosts aren't able to close this out by like 27, 30 minutes, it's going to start getting really scary for them because I promise you that Scylla and that Cupid are going to start becoming a nuisance for that front line. Like Cerberus, Kakolin, I don't think fare very well the later this game goes on, especially with the double Thorns because all PK have to do, disengage as soon as they see the Thorns go through. And I think if they're just smart about their positioning, this is still not a game that feels good for Ghosts. Like I'm sure they're happy to be in control of the pacing for the most part, but I don't think that they feel comfortable, especially not with a lot of the set wins that PK has accomplished so far. This Worlds run, I would never feel comfortable having even a little bit of a lead against PK. Because PK, they've already shown that they have mental endurance. Like, they don't give a shit how far behind they are. They will try to drag this game out as long as possible every single time. And that's got to be frustrating to deal with.
Macro play instead of pressing about what's happening in the first 20 minutes.
Do you remember who the shot caller for that was?
Yeah, I think it was Unrelinquished.
Yeah, we gave him
72.
The MVP
Their best player,
been, right?
Right, their best player.
So they're moving
Yeah, dude, look at that.
for the tier 1 towers tier in mid, whereas
That Mad Guy's pickup too is going to be problematic for Neilma.
Fine, okay, that does not bear fruit. The mid tier 1 continues to stand, and Ghost with the Pyromancer and Fury down are kind of just holding altitude right now, not really trying to get over aggressive here at this point. Waiting for the mid tier 1. If it was open, it wasn't really, so they just gave that one up.
It's tough to say if you want to really start to jam it at 5 mid right now if you're Ghost. Just try and get that pressure and use tower advantage in order to get some more global.
Can you keep them muted?
I kind of like them
Well, I mean, I like them in the background. They're filler in the background for now. Octavius.
There is a difference.
Plus, it's Aggro Finch. They're actually a good casting pair. I like Aggro Finch commentary.
5K lead early on might seem like it's better. The more expensive items are going to come later in your build, so getting those.
Oh yeah, Neil smelled that one out.
Lead early in the game.
He smelled that shit. Dude, Twig tanking that? I mean, they really want to commit, huh? Yeah, that's a lot of damage for Twig, though. I mean, there's nothing for PK to power play off of, though, so that...
I mean, you get the blink from...
A pool like that is cool because they force a blink from Sobek, and on top of that, they didn't really have to hard commit. They had vision. They've got great ward coverage. Ghost has been impeccable with their ward coverage this game, so they have vision on Zapman. They know that he's nowhere near, and so Twig can afford to eat a little bit of extra HP because best case scenario for Ghost, Neil overextends there or Scary overextends. They get the collapse punish because they have the like 1 to 2 man advantage since Paul and Zap were nowhere near. Or, you know, worst case scenario, they just reset. There's nowhere to punish because PK aren't going to repool Fire Giant. There's no Pyromancer to take, and they can't even force a T1 tower. So it's like no harm, no foul, basically, for Ghost to pull Fire Giant. It's more so just like a map awareness check, like, hey, PK, you guys have wards here? You have any idea that we're doing this? Like, I think that's more so what Ghost was trying to accomplish with that Fire Giant pull. It's really just like a map awareness check. And great job by Neil to respond.
Love to do in this type of spot, right? Keeping it farmed up, trying not to let the lead get too far out of control.
What's the duration of my workout? Usually anywhere between like an hour and a half to 2 hours. And I haven't been doing cardio lately because I've been bulking, but in a week and a half, 2 weeks, I'm gonna start my cut and I'll be doing cardio every day. I do intermittent cardio, or not intermittent cardio. I do interval cardio, which means that I always do my training segments. Ooh, nice pull. He needed that. Now they can actually blow up Mike. Oh, that Mad Guy's off the Scylla combo. But like I was saying, I do interval cardio, so what I'll do is 2 minutes off, like at a jogging pace, and then 45 seconds all in sprint. Rinse and repeat for 30 minutes. So in the end, it ends up being somewhere between 15 to 16 sprints, depending on if I want to start with a sprint or not. And then Yeah,
No,
like I said.
no
No,
sticking
I
around
never
there
do
for Neo in
endurance
order to
training.
try and see
Like,
if he could force Kraken out from Twig. I thought that's
sorry, chat. This is a bit of a tangent, but nothing's really happening right now anyway, because, you know, Fury just went down, Ghost controlling as always. But the thing about interval cardio is that it's way better for weight loss because I'm constantly keeping my heart rate taxed. Like, you want to keep a high heart rate. That's all you're trying to do whenever you're trying to lose weight. And I personally am getting faster. Like, my cardio is probably the best it's ever been my entire life. Without a doubt in my mind. Like, I can't remember the last time that I was ever like this fast for like the duration. But yeah, it's painful doing 30 minutes of interval cardio, but it's so much better for a cut. Dude, nobody's in position for this. They have nobody here for this. Oh my god, dude, Paul. They have to get out. Are they out? I don't think Paul's out. Oh, is he? Yeah, he's out. Wow, dude. FinoK almost killed himself there, too. Did he Kraken? He Kraken, then he fucked it up.
Damn.
He Kraken whiffed.
The Knights find the tiny play, the big play, really tiny, is an understatement, but the tiny window to keep themselves in this game, that is huge. And I'm not saying PK are about to go on their own.
Paul's brain is so big.
That's not the case.
He knew. He just G-checked Captain Twig on that fire giant. That's actually tilting, I think.
Beautiful.
For Ghost, 10k lead, still can't confirm fire giant.
Would you? I mean,
crazy.
I don't know that I really would feel that confident if I'm in that moment where we just lost our fire giant when we thought that we had the game in a really
I'm gonna make a prediction play here. This set's a 3-0. PK wins this one. But Neil Maul is going to Niflheim.
Neil Maul had a little bit of a trip. No one can win now, and this kill's free. Now that changes the calculus a bit.
It does. Being at a
That would be crazy if PK 3-0'd.
certainly too far forward, but
I think they can off of tilt. I think Ghost would definitely tilt if they lost off of that fire giant steal.
Lose Neil than lose Zap.
They just gotta not fight here and they're chilling. Oh my god, dude. Sam just lost half his HP for one Solar Crush.
Well, if you want a damage check for Paul, 751 onto Sam for soccer.
Twig's got a survivability build. I don't think it's bad. I mean, it's not ideal for a mid-mage, obviously. Like, no Poseidon wants to have to build an E-staff, I feel like, but I do think that Twig's build makes sense in terms of just the survivability aspect. He just wants to try and live and get away. He's got to be able to create space for himself away from Cubo, Paul, and Zap.
4 2/3, just working on that last bit of the Obsidian Shard. A little bit of aggressive maneuver there from Zap trying to get that tier 1 without any minions. With
creepy little Cupid.
There, but he still has
That creepy little Cupid with the dumplings.
Totally makes sense. PK, not in a great position, but not in the worst one either.
No, they're not. I mean, PK can certainly.
Oh, dude, Twig's gonna
stand
die.
up in this one. Good work from Twig to get some damage on the Zapman. Fields of Love comes out defensively.
What?
Kraken
What?
makes Zapman use the Aegis, and the aggression is still on from Ghost.
Oh my
They got
god,
a
dude.
ward. They know where he is.
Great
Mike
stun.
hits the stun. They get the beads out from Zapman now as well. Now Zapman does
I feel like this is dangerous now.
So vulnerable to Sam now.
No relics, no ult, no chance for Zap to be able to
No
come
way,
and be a
dude.
player in this fight.
And that's why FinoK blinks in. Zapman is the sitting duck. FinoK puts out the thorns, gets the rage transformation in time as well, and Zap has to leave. That
Comes
means
Sam.
Neil's stuck in the middle in trouble. And
Oh!
is that a one?
No!
Well.
Oh my god, dude.
Something different.
Paul's better. Paul's better.
Paul's just better, baby.
Paul's better. Aegis has to be used from Twig, but he's still in a horrible spot. Neil
That's game.
won. Panda
That's
Cat
game
won.
again.
The Pittsburgh Knights have killed 4-0, down nearly 10,000 goals.
How does it happen? How does it happen?
That's
Is that
it.
man
That's
the
it.
best baiter there is? Is that how it happens in this game? Certainly seems to be over. 20 seconds on Sam at the least. Mike is the only one taking the Knights to no lead.
I'm clowning Wolfie right now in the DMs. Wolfie was like, this is going to be an easy 3-0 set for Ghost. PK don't stand a chance. Oh my god, let's go.
Absolutely
Hey.
shocked.
I'm not.
How do you do that? How does that
rent-free in Sam's head. Go ahead.
The Paul difference, dude. Paul literally saw Sam for Soccer coming from a mile away. He was never set up to participate in the team fight with that I'm a Monster. His sole focus was on peeling for Zapman, and it was so clear what his intent was. That was well executed by Zap, too, to give Paul such a consistent target. That's why Zap was just trying to stay in one place. He knew he had no relics, knew he was boned. His only chance of survival there is Paul peeling for him with damage. The best defense is a good offense. A great offense. The Paul offense. The best defense is a Paul offense. All right? Paul just big brain that shit into the future. I guarantee you Ghost is tilted out of their fucking minds right now. I guarantee you players like FineOK, players like PBM are heavy tilted. I guarantee you they're mad at Twig right now for fucking up that Fire Giant secure on the Kraken. They're probably pissed at Sam right now that he was unable to confirm that kill after Mike had another. I think Mike and FineOK have honestly been doing an incredible job here. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Like, how do you get punished that hard as a front line? Like, they're literally making these plays happen for Sam and Twig, and there's just no follow-up. Like, that's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. Oh, yeah, sorry for screaming that into your mic, Maddie. I just got really excited.
Now you're chilling.
Yeah. Yeah, I honestly think they're so tilted right now, though. They started tilting the moment they lost that Fire Giant. I saw this shit, man. 2 finals in a row, like Jesus. I'm not surprised. I told you guys. It was. If you think about it, though, PK has had way better competitive warm up than Ghost coming into this set. Because PK actually had to go all 5 fucking games in both of their sets. That's such a good momentum warm up coming into Worlds. Like, they might be the underdogs heading into this. I don't know how the former World Championship team is being considered the underdogs just because of online play throughout the year. But this is what I mean when I say the public does not understand Smite at the high end, dude. Because I don't know. I haven't watched Pro League play. I'll be honest with you guys. I think most of you know I have not watched a drop of Pro League play up until Worlds because that shit was hella boring. I'm not going to watch 20-minute stare downs with 2 kills being the final game ends throughout the regular year. But these final sets, PKs have been the only ones worth watching. Like, I don't even think Ghost really had a set coming into this match. They played against Renegades. That was a fucking meme and a half of a set matchup, okay? Like, I knew that Renegade set was going to be a fast 3-0 wipe after I saw how they played against Sanguine. Like, I mean no hate against Sanguine either, but Sanguine will probably even tell you themselves, yeah, we played like some dog meat. And Sanguine no, and they were mad at themselves. They were so mad at themselves for the way that they played against Renegades. Not to think that Sanguine would have, beaten Ghost by any means, but I do think that Sanguine might have provided a better, at least, like, competitive warm-up for Ghost. But yeah, dude, I don't know. I've been watching these players for too long. I've been having to, like, analyze and commentate for these players for so long. Like, I feel like I know how they work mentally at this point, just because I've seen it for myself so much in person. I guarantee you, Polar Bear Mike and FineOK are hella tilted right now, and I think they have every right to be. I honestly think that they've been pretty let down so far. And I don't want this to take away, though, from anything that PK has done here. This is exactly what I meant. Literally 10k gold down. And that team is still not deterred from trying to contest the Fire Giant. 10,000 gold in the hole, man. And they still have the sense about them to be like, listen, we got fucking Scylla. We got I'm a Monster. We're going to run this shit down Fire Giant. Twig's going to fuck up a Kraken somehow. And Paul's going to steal this shit. And it's going to be a total turnaround wipe fest. Even after they picked Neil, PK still did an excellent job at just watching their positioning after the fact. Like, Zapman escaping when he did. Zapman had really, really strong relic usage. Even though Mike, like I said, he did a great job burning Zap's relics all throughout this set so far. Mike in general, Mike and FineOK, they've just been doing everything you could possibly ask for a frontline to do. I don't think that they could do anything more. Like, sure, maybe FineOK overextending at 9 minutes towards the T2 tower because he took the T1 tower in solo lane at 5.5 minutes. Maybe that's a mistake. But, like, when you factor it into the big picture, I really don't think that FineOK or Polar Bear Mike played poorly there. Like, I don't think they could have done a much better job there. Those two were hard carrying Ghost all throughout that set. I think they were very heavily let down by their carries there. And Panda Cat just never even got to participate. Like, I fucking forgot there was a Heimdall in that game. I'll be honest with you guys. I didn't remember that there was a Heimdall in that game until he was sending Neilmaw to Niflheim. And that was the only presence that Panda Cat could have that game. And I don't blame him because he's not like the other carries. Like, Poseidon's at least fast, so he can actually catch up to where the team fight's taking place at. And then, obviously, with Susano, he's got crazy good mobility, so of course he's going to get to the back line and like, start harassing the carries with the Poseidon before the Heimdaller can get there. And I think that was the main downfall, too, is that I think Ghost needs Panda Cat on a more mobile hunter that he can actually be there to participate in all the follow-up, because if Panda Cat's not there for the follow-up, Ghosts have just hard lost a lot of these fights. Like, even in game 1, the fights that Ghosts were winning the most were the ones where Panda Cat was participating. I think Sam's kind of shit in the bed right now, and Captain Twig's not doing all that much better. They have to step it up here now. I feel like those two probably have the most pressure on them out of everybody else. I feel like even though their teammates are never going to say it, their teammates are probably heated at them. But if they're smart, they're not going to call them out on it yet because, again, 5-game series, never know what can happen. I don't see Ghost getting 3-0'd. I really don't think they get 3-0'd here, but there is a chance. There is a chance just based off of tilt alone. That's why I said if PK wins this game too, coming back from a 10K goal disparity, Hindu on a chopper, dude. But
Back to the studio, though. Best of luck with the broadcast, boys.
yeah, like Hindu Min's ass is actually on the helicopter right now.
Thank you, Hindu, for the update. I was wondering what happened to that thing. We've been walking in here, it's been gone. Just now starting to realize Hindu took it. There's no guarantee he's truthfully going to go to a player's house. He might just run off with the hammer. I was also wondering where all the bonuses were. I mean, nobody got anything over the holidays. I guess I see where it went. We had to get a helicopter for Hindu. It's probably private. It explains the noise earlier, too. Guys, if you are enjoying this event, make sure you're telling us how you're watching there on Twitter. Hashtag SWC at home. I know there's been a ton of tweets coming through.
Yeah, that's the tweet. That's it. That's the tweet. Paul's just better, dude. That's all you need to say in the tweet. Paul's just better.
For the back-to-back
Paul is just better.
Let's go, PK. That's from Apam. You've seen
Dr.
doing all the
Disrespect is coming
SEL
back-to-back?
rundown. No. We're looking at somewhere else. And wow, the best ghost. Look, these
Feel
might be
bad
the
for PBM
cutest
Panda
gaming
and fine.
fans
I
I've
don't.
seen.
Oh, yeah.
I
Perfect
definitely don't.
For what you need to see here
Maybe Panda
as
Cat.
well.
I feel a little
Great
bad for Panda
dogs
Cat.
rooting for what they wanna
But
go to.
feeling bad for
Maybe not
Polar
the
Bear
best
Mike and
news.
fine. Okay, hell
Give
no,
us
dude.
some other animals. We got a lot of dogs. We got a
Hell
parrot
no.
yesterday, and now we're going to be stepping forward. This is a PM because Auburn hates me. Well, I'm sure she doesn't. She'll probably love you. She'll get over it, whatever it is. Again, hashtag
The Paul
SWC
difference,
at
dude.
home and show us how
Am I
you
gonna watch the
are
R6
tuned in
Invitational on
and
stream
make
too,
sure
or not? No, I'm probably
to
gonna
go
watch that in the comfort of my own home.
to elevate as they come through.
I'm
Speaking of
sorry,
elevate,
Cool Von. Cause I want to take a
have
little break,
elevated
eat
their
some
play.
food,
They
all
have
that
been
good stuff.
Down every set
All that
against
good stuff.
everyone except for E United. They come into E United and close games, but they find the 3-0. They come up to SSG, 2 games down, and they find themselves a reverse sweep. The
Oh yeah, they have to ban
as
Scylla
that
here
man
now.
was
I
very
think.
kind to point out
I think
on Twitter.
they definitely
Second
ban
one
Scylla.
happened competitively,
They
period.
should stay
First one
committed
also
to
done
the
by this
Guan
team
Yu
a year
bans
ago
though.
in the World Championship. Now
Maybe let
Ghosts
Amir
are
through,
in
but
that
definitely
position,
ban
Dave.
Guan Yu.
They have to fight back from a deficit, a 2-0 deficit.
Yeah, they're either gonna ban Scylla or pick it here after that. Like they literally lost Fire Giant because it was Scylla.
Suddenly I'm nervous.
They only
I'm sitting
lose
here preaching
Fire
there's no
Giant to
chance
Scylla
you win
in that
Worlds
circumstance.
without
And the
dropping a
Poseidon
single
clearly
game to
did
Ghost
fuck
Gaming,
all.
and that's
Like that Poseidon, I don't think I saw a single Whirlpool cripple. Like the only ones that I ever saw doing anything. Oh my god, dude, that was so disgusting. I don't understand how Ghost fucked that up with a Kraken and a Susano. Oh, holy shit. Look at this from Zapdo. Like, he stays still just for Paul. And Paul, oh my god, dude. Paul's just better. Paul's just better. Oh, the Proletariat. Twig could definitely play Scylla. I don't have a doubt in that. But, like, right now, Twig's just got to try and overcome his own mental barricade, because I assure you, that is a mental destroyer, what just happened to Ghost. It would be so hard to bounce back the mental, especially knowing that, like, it's like do or die at this point. Either Ghost figures it out, or PK has successfully downloaded these guys. And I think the problem is, I feel like PK are reading Ghosts like a book. And I feel like Ghosts are actually a pretty predictable team because all they really are is Fine OK and Polar Mike. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I actually do think that like Ghost right now is the PBM Fine OK show. So as long as they keep prioritizing, you know, just matching that in the fights, that's all they need. That is all they need to do. But look at the faces. Look at their faces. PBM Fine OK. They are mentally drained and frustrated. Like it's all in the face. You can see it. You can read it. Twick looked like he wanted to cry right there. That's crazy. That is crazy. If PK 3-0, that'd be so embarrassing for Ghost. It wouldn't surprise me though. I feel like if Ghost get 3-0'd here, the only reason they get 3-0'd is because they're in their own heads right now. I don't think that they're actually a team that should be 3-0'd. I personally predicted this as a 3-1 in favor of PK. I was cool with seeing all 5 games though. Like I think it'd be cool for PK to win in 5-game fashion for finals as well. Like I wanted to go 3-2 PK. But if Worlds is another 3-0 finals, man, like what can you say other than PK just clearly understood their opponent coming into this. They did their homework. I think they've done a fantastic job all throughout the picks and bans. And Ghost, honestly, kind of playing into PK's hand. They've got to do something about that Scylla. I think they were on the right track. Like, I love the Amir ban. I love the Guan Yu ban. But allowing Scylla to go untouched as long as they did, that was a massive mistake. That was a massive misplay. But I think Ghosts were just so confident in the fact that the Poseidon would be a much better solution to contesting that Scylla for objective confirm and for just preventing the Scylla from having as much free reign. I think that was just a misread on Ghost End. I would take Scylla over Poseidon every single